Okay, we're live.
Yeah.
We're recording. This is the first podcast. We've had a few practices, but this is going to be the first actual podcast. So we are Ammertime Podcast. It's a bit ironic, the name, because we are a podcast from Copenhagen and a place called Ammer, and I'm probably butchering it. How do you actually say it in Danish?
Ammer.
Ammer?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sounds a little bit like hammer, so it's kind of like Ammertime.
We're just gonna go with
that.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was a bit more funny when we thought about it 10 seconds ago. But yeah, my name's Henry. I'm British, living in Denmark. Been playing Warhammer now since I was 14 years old, with a bit of a break. I play High Elves mostly. Also have a Wood Elf army and a Chaos army. And I'm actually going to start a Vampire Counts army soon, hopefully, if 9th edition is getting up and running. And this podcast is going to be a 9th age podcast, focusing on that and how it's all developing. So I've got here with me today Patrick and Jonas. So if you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, my name is Jonas. My name is Jonas, and from the time being, I'm a Skaven player. I used to play High Elves, and once upon a time when I started playing 15 years ago, I had an Empire army, and I've been throwing around some Wood Elves at a point in time as well. 15 years, that's a long career.
Veteran player.
Yeah. Patrick?
Yeah, hey, I'm Patrick, and I mostly play High Elves and Lizardman. I have a Warriors of Chaos army, but it's still on spruce.
Work in progress.
It's on spruce. It's there somewhere.
Does it count as an army before it's on a base?
I have the bases.
Okay, so you have the bases, but it's still on the sprue.
Yeah, I have like 5. No. Lizardman and High Elves. Lizardman and High Elves.
Yeah, so this podcast, we obviously want to support the 9th edition.
You need to say that we will swear.
Yeah, we're gonna swear.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Yeah.
PG-18.
PG-18. Yeah, so we want to support the 9th edition community by giving something back, and hopefully this podcast will allow people to get interested in the hobby and know it's there and just join us, because if we're sat here with all our armies on our square bases, we actually want to play with someone. So it's a way of us kind of giving back and hopefully encouraging some other people to join us in the 9th age.
And also with all the feedback they want to have for the 9th age, so we can get a good release when the rule system is finally done. I think it's important that we give something back to the creators of 9th age, so they can get some thoughts on how their system is working.
Yeah, so the 9th age is a fan-made rule set. I think it's made by the guys who did Swedish Comp.
Yeah, I think so too.
So hopefully they understand a bit of what they're talking
actually, more people are joining in, so it's a big part of different people from all over the world.
Yeah,
I heard like some Americans and some other people were also involved in making the rules and making the army books.
Yeah.
So it's not only the Swedish Comp guys, but like maybe they started it. Anyway, it's not important. It's just important to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always going to be able to be changed because it's made by the fans. So it's an electronic document. It can always be edited. And right now they're at a stage where they've had a rule set out and it's been tested quite a lot by a lot of people. We tested it as well. And then now they've released a second rule set, which is what we're playing at the moment.
Well, now they released army books.
Yeah, and
the first was just like the Ravening Hordes.
Yeah.
Just quick rules to try the main rules of the game.
Yeah.
And now they made army books for armies, where they have all the special rules and special stuff to give it more flavor.
Yeah. So yeah, we have full army books now, and there's even Chaos Dwarves, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 13, maybe? Is that how many armies there are? I don't know. Yeah, so everyone has an army book, and it's, in general, we like it, right?
Yeah.
Patrick and I, we came back from the tournament today.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it. It was good fun. The rules worked. There's a few discussions where it's just a bit hazy in the way it's written, but
it's a bit unclear because they made some changes from 8th edition.
Yeah.
But I think they just need to clarify a few words and add some definitions.
For sure. And I think it's going to be a great game. So maybe we should talk about the tournament, what we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to a tournament at Skålen. Skålen.
Dragon Factory.
Dragon Factory at Skålen. So that's just outside Copenhagen for the international audience. You probably don't understand that.
Yeah, it was really close,
Yeah,
and
just down the road.
they encourage people to host tournaments there because it's really easy.
Yeah,
and they have space and tables.
Really cool building actually.
Yeah, and really cool terrain.
Yeah, really good setup. They had a little sofa downstairs that I had a bit of a nap on. I was a bit tired yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really good. How many people were there? I think 12 people to start with.
Yeah, 12.
12 people turned up, which is nice. And we have a big gaming group of 8 guys, don't we?
Yeah.
And there was only 3 of us there. Jonas unfortunately couldn't go, but another one of our friends was. And so there's a lot of people who I think missed it for some reason. So I think hopefully it's going to pick up a bit more.
Yeah, but it was a good tournament, and I mean it worked out. It was just made to try out the 9th age and play with different players. So
yeah, there was a little bit of restrictions for it, like on units and stuff, and the
maximum 400 points per unit, max of 3 duplicates of core, maximum 3 mounted models.
Yeah, flyers and laws. Yeah, there's a few restrictions.
No duplication of rare actually.
Yeah, but it wasn't too crazy. Like it wasn't a full rules pack that you get at other tournaments.
No.
So how do you guys feel? Does 9th age need a restriction system to, or is it good? Is 9th age good on its own?
I don't know.
How did it work at the tournament?
It worked out okay, but it was not really that restricted. I mean, you could probably do without restrictions at all if you wanted to.
I think so.
And the restrictions they made, they actually restricted some of the choices you could make that were not really powerful. So it kind of skewed things a little bit. And now I'm just talking about skinks.
Yeah.
They had a maximum on shooting models, and ranked up skinks are shooting models. So if you want to bring ranked up skinks, you couldn't.
Okay.
Something like that could have been done better, but it was thrown together really fast just to try the 9th age.
Yeah, I don't think you need restrictions so much. I think I didn't see any real power things that you could have done to kind of maximize things by. I don't really know that much because we haven't really seen all the armies. I've only played with high elves and I've only played against 6 armies or something now, so it's difficult to see. There's obviously strong choices, but yeah, I don't think you really need a restriction system right now.
But also,
and not in this stage anyway.
But also the meta is changing.
Yeah, for sure.
After the tournament, a lot of different stuff is viable, and maybe it's not so necessary to restrict stuff actually, because the 9th age will do it by having maximum model caps on all units.
Yeah.
And they already have maximum of duplicated. They have rules. You cannot duplicate heroes indefinitely. You cannot duplicate units indefinitely.
Yeah.
So there's already a built-in restriction system in 9th age.
And it's 35% lords now as well. So
yeah, and maximum 50% of characters in total, I think.
Yeah, so that makes it slightly better as well than just base standard and also like a restriction system. Yeah, I think it's.
And it doesn't really feel like that. Usually, back in 8th edition, some units were just spammable, like White Lions. If you had 3 units of White Lions, you would kind of be good against everything. But it kind of feels like the 9th age kind of made it a bit better, so it's not that good to spam a certain units.
Well, 3 units of White Lines isn't very good now.
No, but for some armies, yes. For some armies, no.
I think you can still spam chariots in some armies, and that's quite strong.
Yeah, but some armies can still bring really strong bosses that are hard to bring down. And it seems like all the armies have all the tools, and some of the armies do not have any weaknesses at the moment right now, which is kind of a little bit bad.
Yeah, we talked about this in the car on the way home.
So some choices will be strong, and some choices will be. You don't spam it. You just take everything in this boss of something and go with it. I mean, you still have the big mushroom spells that will have a chance to kill you.
They're not as bad. Like the big spells now, because it ignores the first one, so you can't kill that character
Exactly.
which is
Harder.
But we should explain it in 9th Age. If you have a unit spell that affects an entire unit,
Yeah.
the first
like
model,
Dwellers or Final Transmutation.
yeah, the first model, you can pick a model that doesn't have to take the character test, right?
It's the first failed test doesn't count.
No,
That's what it
It
that's
is,
how
it
it
is.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
So you roll your dice for your character first.
I played with it in this game and I didn't even know it.
Again, read the rules. Yeah. So you roll your dice for your Dwellers, and if you fail your strength, the first failed strength test gets discounted. So you choose. So you pick your character first.
Actually, isn't it Dwellers? You just pick one character that does not test,
No,
and
it's
then
the first.
and then
fail.
the final transmutation, the transmutation of gold is the first 5+ you roll is ignored.
It's the same, I think.
But anyways,
Anyway,
there's
yeah.
still,
Anyway, it's not so bad as
there's
before.
still a built-in mechanism to make sure that you don't kill characters
Yeah.
outright with the mass removal spells. So I think
mean,
it's nice.
It's good because it doesn't. If you have one character in a unit, you know you're safe. But then if it stops the buses of loads of characters that you can just have a full rank of characters in the front.
Yeah,
So
but
you will get punished if you build huge unit with a lot of characters in them.
Yeah.
yeah, but you don't necessarily need huge units if you're using monstrous cavalry.
But still, it stops you having
Yeah.
loads of characters.
Yeah.
I think something that I felt today was it was more of a rock paper scissors kind of thing with the army. Like I had 4 games where the matchup was okay, and then the last game where it was like the worst possible matchup for me. And yeah, I think it's all about the army that you turn up with and the army that's opposite you, and I think that restricts it because you have to. I had an army that was built around one thing, and then another maybe the army opposite me is built around another thing. But you really have to have the tools to deal with everything. And the rock paper scissors thing I think is more apparent in 9th than it was in 8th.
Maybe.
But in 8th we had a more stable meta.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So it was easier to predict what your opponent were going to play.
Yeah, and maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think
But-
it will stabilize with when the meta kind of.
But also now a lot more units are viable, so every army has a lot of different choices. But if every army has 2 choices instead of 1, it's like double the amount of armies you can actually face, which makes it harder to predict stuff. And therefore, if you just max up on one thing, you would be weak against something else.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, I run a Star Dragon list, and I can push it forward until someone else has got, let's say, stuff that if I push it forward, I'm going to die. So the army that I played had loads of shooting and another Star Dragon. So it was a really bad matchup for me, because if I push it forward, I get charged by a Star Dragon, but I have to push forward to get the points, and I'm just getting shot the whole time.
Yeah.
So that was a really bad matchup for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But Henry, you won the tournament, and congratulations.
I did win the tournament.
Yeah.
It's the first tournament that I won.
Nice, congratulations.
I'm pretty happy with myself considering how hungover I was on the first day. It was not good. I was being sick all morning.
But we kind of had first place was a high elf army, and second place was a high elf army as
Yes.
well, right?
Actually, there were 3 people tying for
There was
first.
3 of us and tied for first place.
Okay.
2 high elves and 1 beastman.
Yes.
Right. So, is there any kind of tendencies towards some armies being better than others, or?
Well, the high elf army. I should probably tell you about my army first. That's probably where we should start. So I have my list here, ready made, for just to say. So I had a prince on a star dragon, ancient dragon, with a great weapon, and he had the 100-point shard of nullification, and that was like the big boy of the army actually.
It was really good.
It was way too good actually. I think.
Too good?
Yeah, maybe on a star dragon it's crazy good.
Yeah, but if you run into a cannon.
Yeah, I mean if.
Yeah. It's a rock scissors paper
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
It's really good against something, but against something else, it's like cutting a banana
So
with a katana.
the shard of nullification, it's an enchanted item, and everything within 6 inches bubble of the dragon, it means that no magic items work and no wizards can cast spells. So the armies which had all their lords and heroes in one bunker unit, I would just push the dragon up into it, and then they can't cast spells, and none of their items work. So if they want to challenge me, then I'm gonna smack them, and I've only got a great weapon, so it doesn't matter to me. And all the protection's gone, so if they have a ward save, it doesn't work. If they want to try and buff their unit, they can't because of the item. And yeah, it was crazy good. So even like another Star Dragon, if you have magic items, then we're on equal playing field because he hasn't got Achilles sword or anything to help. So that was a general. I had a captain on a BSB with a banner on an eagle, and he had the naval sentinel honor, and that's 10 points, and it means that he's quick to fire. And I had a reaver bow or the raider bow, and so that was just giving me +1 to hit basically, and so I was running around with the raider bow and a potion of strength, so I can make him strength 7, 3 shots for one round. And the Sentinel also gives you -1 leadership, -1 attack, which sucks, but I thought that it was better with the quick to fire. So the idea was that I would just run around shooting with him. I didn't really want to charge him into combat anyway. And give him a great weapon because I didn't want to charge into combat, and if people charge me, then I'm strength 6. And the Naval Sentinel rule also means that he can reform when I get charged. So if like a unit of chaff wants to charge me, then that's okay because I can just reform and face them and just fight with strength 6. And he had like a hardened shield and dragon armor to give him a 2+ arm save.
Did you think about that you could join him into a unit to use the reform, even if he was on an eagle?
Yeah, I almost did it in one game, but I was more using him to go around and use his strength 5 shooting to clean up the chaff.
Okay.
But yeah, I could put him in the dragon princes, but they really want to be charging downhill.
Yeah, I was thinking the sea guards.
Yeah, but the sea guard were coming on at the back, and he was kind of hanging in my deployment zone.
So maybe not in your army, but you could.
Yeah, you could. I think there's definitely legs on it, and you can actually make him ambush as well. But I think we'll get to that.
You don't want to ambush with the BSB.
Yeah, well, you don't give him the BSB, you give someone else the BSB.
Right. Next.
Yeah, so my army is a fluff army. I was saying this like all weekend, but no one was believing me. It's a fluff army. It's an army from
Star Dragon fluff army. Nice.
It's a Seldor army. It's got a dragon and it's got dragon princes. It's got a dragon
fluffy
mage.
Nurgle army with Beastmen.
It's a fluff army. It's such a fluff army. So I had a mage, level 2. It's a dragon mage on a dragon and with a Dispel Scroll, Lucky Shield. This was not as good. I don't think it's as good as the old dragon mage.
Why?
Because before you got +4 to cast and no bonus to dispel, which is fluffy, but now it's not. Now it's just like you get flaming sword and stuff. But it was okay. It wasn't as fun as the other one, but it was okay.
Did he fight? Did you charge him into combat?
Every now and again, he killed a bit of chaff. He's toughness 5 now with the
combined profile.
Yeah, the combined profile, and he has a special rule that everything in base contact at the start of combat gets a strength 4 hit.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice.
Nice.
So you get a few extra hits, and he's got a breath weapon, so he's pretty good. And he's not so hard to kill either, because you can't just like bolt throw him off the top like before getting hit on a 5+, take it off. Yeah. Dispel Scroll's good, and then the Lucky Shield is just discount the first wound that you get taken. First hit, which is nice if you get cannoned or something like that.
Yeah.
It's had 20 Sea Guards, heavy armor, 4+ saves, quite nice.
Lothan Sea Guards, long time no see.
Yeah. Coastal Guard, I think they're called now. And they had ambush and full command. And these guys were so good. They would come on the back, and the quick to fire and the weapon master. So they come on in 2 ranks. So I've got 20 shots, and I just like pew 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 away at whatever's there. Or actually, the first game I brought them on next to the Tomb King's bunker and just charged them in the second turn and took it off. That was good. And you can give them Magic Banner as well, which is nice. Give them the I didn't have it. I would have liked it. I didn't have enough points for it. The triple march banner.
Yeah.
So you can come on and then march somewhere else. It's pretty good.
Do you need it when you ambush?
No, but it's a nice option to have because you can always ambush in, kill a chaff unit or something that's in the way, and then the next turn get into position where you actually need them. So you can kind of do 2 roles with 1 unit.
And that's actually kind of very different from the old High Elf army because now we have 20 ambushing spearmen coming from the back line.
Yeah, something that's a bit better as well.
Yeah, it's something that you couldn't do back in 8th edition at all.
I did it.
You could.
I did it with the Wayshard.
Magic item that made it possible.
Yeah, nice.
Was I playing against you with that actually? I played against someone with that recently. I can't remember who. I definitely used it once.
I thought about using it, and I think I made a list with it, but I never played with the list.
Yeah. But you had to give it to a character that was never very good. But yeah, the Sea Guard, they're so good. And the Weapons Master means that you can choose between your spear and your hand weapon. So you can get -1 to hit if something charges you.
Yeah, because hand weapon shield now gives you distraction.
Yeah.
So you're -1 to hit.
and you can choose freely between that each phase, which is really good. Also had 5 Reavers in the core with natural armor. The 4+ arm save's great. I really like that. I think I'm going to take that every time on the Reavers. 4+ arm save's fantastic. Also had bows, and I put a champion in there, and that's because I can charge it in, and then I can challenge with my champion, and my dragon doesn't have to take the challenge, and it can eat the unit, which is good. 8 silver helms with natural armor again, full command. These units are okay. Just exactly the same as before. Nothing special.
Exactly the same point cost.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Can you take a banner now?
I think they can.
25 points, right?
Yeah, I didn't take one though. And then 7 Shadow Warriors with extra hand weapons and a champion again. Really, really useful unit. They have poison.
I heard they were really good on the stand shoot.
Yeah, I think we'll get to that when we go through the games. Yeah, the poison on the Shadow Warriors is really fun. It means that their job is to hunt the war machines that are trying to kill my dragon. There wasn't that many war machines, so they were just killing chaff.
There were no war machines.
Yeah.
2 out of 12 players.
I played 2 bolt throws in the last game.
That's it's just a big bow.
He didn't have the multiple shots actually. Interesting choice. But
it's too expensive.
15 points.
It's kind of the same as before.
Yeah. I think I'm going to pay for it every time. But yeah, the Shadow Warriors are really good. Extra hand weapon, initiative 6, hitting most things on 2+ because the weapon skill 5. Really, really useful unit.
Weapon skill 6.
Initiative 6.
Ah, yeah.
Weapon skill 5.
Yeah, okay.
And the champion's weapon skill 6.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's good. And yeah, shooting is good. And then the Dragon Princes, 10 of them, full command. Yeah, great unit. Just this extra strength is fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, just exactly the same as before, just with the extra strength. And they can grind pretty well. Like even if you charge them in the flank, they still get 2 attacks at strength 4 each, and 2 attacks in the front in combat at strength 4 is fantastic. And when they're charging, they're usually hitting on a 2+, weapon skill 5.
Supernatural reflexes.
Yeah, usually striking first because initiative 6 and they're strength 6. I was charging into Minotaurs, hits on 2s, wounds on 2s, take it off.
Yeah.
It was just it was really, really good. With this, the extra strength is just crazy. Like the difference between strength 5 and strength 6 is really good.
It's huge.
Yeah, so that was my list. In general, I thought it worked really well because the deployment rules, where you get +1 to go first for each unit.
For each undeployed unit the enemy has.
So I actually only had 4 units on my characters.
Yeah.
So most armies were were forced to put their whole army down to stop me going first, or they were like really struggling to out deploy me because I could just put my units down and I knew I was going first, which is good for my army because I can just push it forward.
Yeah.
So I think it worked really well, and the Sea Guards coming on the back. Actually, no, I only had 3 units deployed because the Sea Guard ambush.
Yeah.
So 3 units in the characters, so 4 drops, and then the Sea Guard coming on after is and then they're kind of caught between the Sea Guard and then the dragons coming forward. So yeah, that was kind of the theory of the army. It was pretty much made because the army that I was playing with sucked with the Lawmaster.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. So I was practicing all like for last. When I say practicing, we were playing for like 3 or 4 games with it, and it wasn't working for me. I kept losing. So I just.
It was really a problem for everybody else because we were playing against a bad army.
Yeah.
So we thought that our army was good.
That's what
but it wasn't.
Yeah. And so I just wrote this list as kind of, fuck it, I'm just going to play with my old fluff army, and it turns out to be really, really good. So yeah, it was nice. That was my list. I think we will probably go through the games at some point after this. We're going to take a break soon. We have an interview with Patrick, which was done pre-tournament.
Yeah.
And also another interview with Lasse after we played last week.
And the third guy.
And we'll have another interview from the tournament, which I did after yesterday, after the first 4 games. So they're going to be inserted into this episode at some point. Maybe we have to cut this part out. We'll see.
But perhaps after the break, we should talk about your list. There's very little chaff in your list. Something that's very different from the 8th edition.
Yeah, well, yeah, we
could talk about that after the break.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and maybe we'll just talk about how it worked in the games, and that will kind of cover it.
Yep.
So take a quick break.
Yep.